vlog and welcome back.
Welcome back. Sorry. Keep going.
Good morning. Good morning, Bat. I just farted. We're Allie and Dan.
And we are in our van. We live in this van. This van's name is Helen. If you haven't been to this channel, we are here on the beach in Mexico. We have beachfront property. And we're a van life couple with 2 dogs. Hashtag van life. And we're really excited to share today's episode with you guys. We think it'll be something informative and fun as well, as you guys can see a look inside our relationship in van life. What do you think?
There's some really great benefits to living with a partner in your van, but it's also really difficult and it's a lot of hard work.
And if you have the right mindset, it can be a really rewarding experience for your relationship, I think. So in this episode, we're going to go over our 4 do's and our 4 don'ts of van life as a couple. Okay, do number 1 is do not get in my way when I'm vlogging. What do you think about that?
You guys can't trust anything he says. He's full of smack.
Okay.
We are 35. How old are you? 35 and 34. And I think that our age has played a lot into it. We've matured and grown up and learned to deal with ourselves personally before we were able to bring ourselves to a strong and healthy relationship. And I think that has been, I don't know, 10 years ago, I was a totally different person and I wasn't as quite control of my emotions, or I don't know. We're just in a better, healthier mind space that we're older and we have the same goals and ideas for the future.
Exactamundo. Well said, my babe. Rule number 2, never interrupt Allie when she's vlogging because she gets really good trains of thought. Our first one that's hitting us a lot right now is don't freak out when things go wrong. Don't take things too seriously, especially when you're living in a van and things break down and you're relying on every piece of equipment in this van to perform its job. And we have a good example of that right now, don't we?
We were driving through the dirt roads up into the arroyos, which is like ditches and whatever, and there was a giant rock. They're obviously not really roads. There's a giant rock and you have to kind of keep your speed because it's like sand that you're driving on. And Dan was driving, which he does most of the time, and smashed into a rock really hard. And we were kind of like, ooh, sounded really bad. Anyway, it's put a hole in our oil pan and it's dripping, and it's not a huge drip, but we're going to be losing oil and it needs to be fixed. So there's a small puddle after overnight already on our beachfront property. You know, we could have freaked out about it, or I could have gotten mad at him, even though, it wasn't really his fault. I'm sure the same exact thing would have happened if I was driving. And so we just, instead of getting mad at each other or being inconsiderate to each other, we just come up with a solution of how we're going to fix it. That's the only way forwards.
We've had battery issues. We've now had this oil issue. Like Allie was saying, the solution is the way forward. The solution is the thing that's going to bring you guys together.
Don't take things too seriously. There's always a solution. Don't worry about things. It might be expensive and it might be difficult and it might be
frustrating and annoying.
But you will overcome it and you will figure it out if you have a positive mindset about getting to that solution.
We're eating cookies in the front of our beachfront property
for breakfast
in the morning. All right, our first do is have a sense of how you're going to financially support yourself in van life and how you and your partner are going to spend your money and what's important to you in terms of where the money goes, when you spend it, how you budget for this whole thing. It's probably the most important one.
Yeah, money can bring a lot of problems, or it can be really sort of fluid in the way that you decide how you're going to make it, how you're going to spend it, when you're going to work. So we choose to work similar hours.
We made the decision to start creating content and document our journey, and we had some creative ideas. I had some background in social media and video editing and video making, so it was a natural thing, and I just enjoyed doing this. And so instead of like, well, I'll do that and you have a job and we can make that work and then we'll also have some savings, we decided, hey, let's do this together. And Allie's built her course, Allie sells her program. I kind of take on the responsibility of creating the videos and I guess directing the videos. And so for us it works really, really well because we share the income that we make from these things, and we have the same desires and ways that we want to spend our money and ways that we don't want to spend our money. Really, it's kind of exciting, honestly, financially for us, because we can get creative and it's something that we can do together too. We have like different avenues of revenue sources.
The van has expenses and we share those expenses because that just clearly makes sense. It's not one person's or the other's.
And also we like to celebrate like achievements and events, and so we spend money on going out. I like to,
Yeah, I don't like to spend quite as much money on food and treats and things like that, so I think Dan has kind of come down. We've met in the middle, would you say?
It's really, for me, it's like celebrating like big achievement, like let's say physically, or maybe if we hit a new milestone with something we wanted to do, and so we kind of have the same outlook on when we can celebrate, and that's also important. So our first do
be on the same page
financially. It'll make your life so much easier. It'll make your van life journey so much more enjoyable and add so much longevity to it. All right, our second don't is don't hold things in. You've got to be able to talk to your partner. You've got to be able to let your frustrations out. You got to be able to let things that aren't working out. So if you hold those things in, they can boil over, and that's happened to us a couple of times for sure. I think once again with our age, we were able to come back and calm down, and just talk it out and spend that, maybe 10, 15, 30 minutes, whatever it is, that changes the trajectory of the next day, week, months.
It's really important to have open lines of communication. Neither of us are, I guess, shy or concerned to hold back our feelings because we hold space for each other. That makes us feel comfortable to chat to one another about whatever is on our minds. Just the other day I said, we had kind of been talking about a few different ideas, and I said, I think I've made up my mind and here are my reasonings for it, and you listened and you agreed, and we
happy wife,
came to a
happy life.
conclusion.
That should be another one. Happy wife, happy life.
Shut up and do what you're told.
So we've had the lows, and then we experienced the benefits of not holding something in, not holding in how we're feeling, because we live in such a small space. It can go bad quick. So that's a really big don't for our second don't, I think. I'm thinking maybe we'll go to do feed me cookies.
Sharing. We also share.
Let him talk, as long as my name is on their lips. Call me mistake.
All right, I think our next do needs to be doo-doo because I gotta go to the bathroom, so let's do it.
Okay, so another really important do is that do respect your partner's schedule or routines or necessaries that make them, I guess, who they are. For example, one of my biggest needs that I do every single day is that I like to meditate and then do my morning workout. We'll do a morning routine video here soon, but Dan is super respectful of my mornings, and he is aware that I need to have this time before I get started into anything else. Isn't that right?
Oh yeah, big time, do not get in your way.
We've just sort of worked out, every single thing that you do revolves around each other. The time that you wake up, I can't get out of bed without waking up Dan. I have to crawl over him. It just doesn't work. We've just found a groove that works for us, for both of us, and we've both made a few sacrifices, but it's just important to have made that into a sort of fluid routine that helps us get into our days with ease. Dan knows what it's like to not respect my morning routine, so he won't ever not do that again.
Real cranky.
So I kind of like to have an idea of what I'm going to get up to the next day, because it helps me prepare what time I might get up, or just kind of helps me plan what I've got going on. And so having an idea of where you're going, what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish the next day just sets you up for success.
Yeah, very successful guy. A lot of people don't think I'm successful. A lot of people think I have never done anything with my life, you know. I remember my grandma said that to me just maybe a week ago. And I remember thinking like, hey, I'm set up for success tomorrow because I have my routine and I do my thing. And I said, so yeah, very successful guy no matter what anyone says. I don't care what they say.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay, we're going for a cheesy couples walk amongst the cacti vlog. How about that? Allie found this great cactus right here that I'm going to try and get in the shot, and we're going to sit in front of it for our third don't. Nice job. All right, so for our third don't, we wanted to share with you guys something that's really, really helpful for us. That's don't overplan and don't underplan. And it's because we live in a van, we can do a lot of different things. We're not tied down, you know, we're location dependent. And we have a lot of ideas of a lot of things we want to do, but I think one of the best things about our van journey, and hopefully you guys are following along, is that we have a very rough plan of where we want to go. Like, we wanted to go mountain biking through the Southwest this fall, and we did that, and we also were able to do a lot of great videos along the way that a lot of people watched. And then all of a sudden we had this idea that we can do even more, like a totally spontaneous thing, and go way east out of our way to Florida, which is something we never thought we would do.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't seen those videos, I'll throw one up here and you can watch those videos from Florida. Had we had too much of a plan, I don't think that would have been possible. I think we would have gotten stressed out. It would have been overcomplicated.
I mean, not to mention also to mention is that things don't always go to plan. So making sure you have days for flexibility and not having a rigorous schedule is going to keep the stress a lot lower.
For sure.
But I do like to look things up so that we don't miss anything cool
Right.
if we're in the area. And, you know, if we miss it, we miss it. But it's nice to kind of check things out and have a little bit of an idea, but not set too tough of a schedule or any sort of rigorous time frame that you need to do anything in.
So for us, like, over planning we would miss a lot of things. Under planning, I think, would just kind of drive you crazy.
Yeah, I think having a destination and having a sort of goal or something to work towards is definitely good for your sort of well-being.
Yeah, it's good for you as a couple because you can stay aligned, and I think that's what's really important if you're living in a van with a partner is having that next destination and also having the ability to be spontaneous. So that's don't number 3. Don't overplan and don't underplan. Another big one for us, and this doesn't really fall into any category, it's just kind of like have the same outlook on likes and subscribes, like how you're gonna get them, what they mean to you. Are they the most important thing? Like for me, of course, obviously that's like the thing that I'm after all the time. And I don't know, you balance me out because you don't seem to really care about likes and subscribes as much as I do.
We're like really far apart on this one, but this seems to be not a real essential for our do's and don'ts.
Everyone's different. For me, it's the only essential. I'd rather have likes and subscribes over water in a lot of instances. But yeah, I think it's just really important that we talk about these key issues that like a lot of people aren't comfortable talking about. So let's go to our next location. Okay, so we're back on the road. This is a perfect time for our next one, which is do sweet things, do spend quality time, do know your partner's love language. How would you describe this one, babe? Because I've got a good, sweet thing I'm about to do for you right now.
So Dan's love language. Dan does so much for me. He cooks for me, he pumps my kite. I feel like he does things all day long for me. And that's his love language because that's what he's doing for me. So I try and do things back for him, although, if it makes sense, my love language is kind of a mix of all of them. So sometimes I need to be hugged, sometimes I need to be told I look great, or I'm loved, or I am appreciated.
It is a bit of a math equation, kind of, you know, almost, I would say, like calculus 2, if you want to go back to college days, is what I feel like I'm in. I'm living in a constant cycle of that. But what I want to do for you right now is take you on a little surprise. You've never been here, you've never done this. Let's go do it right now. And then we're gonna go do what you want to do, which is have a nice date night inside the van tonight. So we're gonna go get groceries. We're gonna take the vlog along for that. But before we do that, I got a surprise for you, my love. Ready?
You ready? You ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Are you taking me to La Mentita?
Yeah. This is a place that Allie hasn't been to. It's a little cafe, a craft kitchen, La Mentita. And they do an incredible chilaquiles. And we're gonna go have that right now because you've never had it and you love chilaquiles. And I've been meaning to do this, but what better time than while we're vlogging? So let's do it.
Looks yummy.
I'm a good boy, I'm a good boy, I'm a good boy.
I'm a good boy.
Okay, we're sitting down at one of my favorite new restaurants in town that's just absolutely fantastic. And they had extra firm tofu, which is gonna go great for what you wanted to do this evening. Yeah.
So I've requested that Dan make us a nice dinner in tonight. We've shared dinner with friends the past, I don't know how many nights. So we're just gonna have a nice, quiet, very sort of vegetable rich
Stir fry, or
stir
curry.
fry. Curry
Yeah,
with
curry.
dinner.
And we found our tofu. So do remember you're still a couple, even though we live in tight quarters and we spend a lot of time together. These little sweet things, they add a lot of enjoyment to surprise someone, to give someone, like even as simple as a gift as taking them to a place for their favorite meal or making their favorite meal.
And then just having maybe like a sort of phone-free evening and watching a movie later on or something like that, but just kind of actually connecting, spending quality time.
It's a really, really important way when you live in these tight quarters and you travel a lot and you do everything together, not to forget those. So that's our third do. Wow, we're moving and grooving here. Let's have some food. Okay, gang, we just had a fantastic breakfast. That was a great do.
Very yummy, great idea, babe.
Okay, thank you. So our last don't, and this one's really important, really practical, really easy to implement. If you're living in a van or you want to start your own van journey with your partner, don't let your van get too messy. And Allie is the best at keeping a tidy, clean van. I mean, almost, some would say Nazi style. Some would say, I would never, but some have apparently.
It's a constant cleanup, but if you stay on top of it and you do things as you go along, it doesn't become as big of a chore. Now, when I like to sweep out the van like every couple of days, I need Dan to be like out of the van and give me some space so I can just reset the van. But letting things build up makes it into a chore. So if you do things like little by little, day by day, put your stuff away always. In the beginning, Dan would just leave his junk everywhere, and that's not allowed.
Messy boy, dirty boy.
But now he has bin, and everything of his just goes into his bin.
Love bin, although bin has gotten a little wild lately. The thing about a messy van is that that is gonna spill over into your relationship, and if you're in a messy environment, because we've been in this, and it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right, that's gonna spill over, and that's just gonna make your journey wherever, if you're staying somewhere, you're traveling on the road, it's going to make it more challenging. There's going to be more stress, and I think that clutter just kind of spills over. And so since we have a really good system now where like I make the bed sometimes, you make the bed sometimes. I made the bed today, not a big deal. But I hate making the bed.
You have to move every single thing before you drive anyways, so if you just keep on top of things, put stuff away every time, take care of things, it's just so much easier.
Do not let your van get messy. Keep it tidy, have a spot for everything. And that's one of the best ways to keep your relationship on solid ground.
So Dan said he wanted to go for a walk, needed some alone time. He was gonna go for a walk by himself. He said he was gonna meet me back at our beachfront property. I have no idea. Look, I've just come across this fool on the road. Can I help you?
Ow! Oh! Oh, vlogger down. Oh, vlogger with a stub toe. Oh, guys. We need some likes and subscribes. I was just out for my walk and boy, I'll catch up with you in a bit. Okay, gang, really exciting moment in the vlog. Allie's just got a drill, and if you know anything about Allie, when she gets tools in her hand, things get fixed. Typically things that may or may not have been broken by the other person in the van, being me. And this brings us to our last do, our final do of our 4 do's and don'ts of a van life relationship. Babe, why don't you tell us what that is?
That is, do split all of the tasks. There are things to be fixed. There is recycling to take out, garbage to take out, water to dump, water to fill, propane to take care of. There is a whole list of daily tasks that need to be taken care of constantly. We have to close the windows and turn the fan on whenever we leave, and we have to gather the dogs up, and sharing all of those tasks makes life A, more enjoyable, but just B, easier.
I agree 100%. And I also want to add that it's just really nice to come back to something that your partner's already taken care of. That's one of my most favorite things about Allie, and I try and return that favor to her by not just like sticking her with something just because I don't feel like doing it, like, you know, making the bed, for example. I'll use that again. Or, you know, putting stuff away off the counter. I'm always trying to get better at organizing the van, because Allie's lived in the van for a lot longer than me. And she just knows a lot of this stuff more. And so I'm learning it, and I'm seeing the value of taking on extra tasks. And then it just feels good to do it for your partner and to have something done that you were thinking you might have to do, and then it's already done. So that makes for your relationship to just be way easier, right, babe?
It certainly does.
Allie's singing right now. I'm gonna go surprise her. Piggy sold more shirts than Huck.
Okay, this is something serious. I have a bone to pick with you all. I thought you loved Huck too, but nobody's bought a shirt for Huck. I haven't even bought a shirt for him yet because we can't get them yet, so.
Okay, so
no, if you loved Huck, you would buy his shirt.
And we did drop some new merch, all related to the van. We got Helen merch, we've got Pig merch, and we've got Huck merch. Pig sold a few shirts on release day. It felt really good for me. That was definitely a win. Huck hasn't sold any yet, but I know he's gonna come around. We're gonna certainly be getting some once we get back to the US and can actually get them. But I was just kind of being mean to Allie, and that's probably another don't. Don't be mean about your dog selling more merch, but this is a situation where I just needed to be said. We've had a fantastic day. We're really excited to get this vlog out to you guys, and hopefully you guys can leave us a comment about any other tips that you have if you've been in a situation with your significant other where you guys learned some things that made it easier to travel together, even if it was like on a vacation or something like that. Let us know in the comments section.
Thank you everybody for watching. We are happy and excited to bring you this episode. There are some things that we are we think are really, really important, and we sort of rules that we live by every day.
We want to say thank you to our Patreons. Of course, we really, really appreciate you guys. We're uploading a lot of content to Patreon using their stories feature. So if you guys are wanting some behind the scenes content, we're going to be ramping that up even more with our first live stream here coming up this month. So there's links in the video description for that, as well as for the merch if you want to check out, even just see what we got for the new release. It's really exciting. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much. We
Adios.
appreciate you all.